Hi, my name is Marija Bartl and I'm a professor of transnational private law at the University of Amsterdam. With a colleague of mine, Jessica Lawrence, based at the University of Exeter, we have recently co-edited the book The Politics of European Legal Research Behind the Method. The book is out from this April with Elgar Studies in Legal Research Methods, and I would like to use the upcoming couple of minutes to share with you a couple of reasons as to why we have embarked on this project, as well as what you can find in the book, shall you care looking. The book is product of several years of conversations among many wonderful scholars, many of them you would find on this slide. And it starts from an observation that we see at the current point of time a growing number of methodological struggles or reflections in European legal research, and at the same time these reflections are fraught with controversy. So we ask ourselves collectively in the book, what are the stakes behind the methodological battles that we see, and why do we see them now? So these are two leading questions. The book starts from an assumption that the methodological turn in European legal scholarship is an important one. At the same time, we should be aware not to harness unwarranted illusions about what methods can do. As legal scholars, after a decades-long pause, we return to the discussion on the method, joining in the lively debate that has in the meanwhile flourished in social sciences more broadly. What we find is that methods cannot shield us from our own subjectivity, since they always come paired with certain ontological or epistemological assumptions about the world around us, as well as knowledge production itself. However, we also see that the methodological awareness in legal scholarship is crucial, insofar it has an important link to academic honesty. It helps scholars gain insight and make explicit their own background assumptions, their own scholarly politics. And in fact, this function of methodological awareness is a crucial one. Insofar, we have all too often experienced brushing over the questions of value and politics in legal research when reference to better, more beautiful, or more logical argument was to cut the normative haze. Yet this is too much of a shortcut, we all believe. For before we judge something as a better or worse argument, we need to respond to several pre-questions. Why is that we are talking about these arguments and not others? What makes some questions worth asking and not others? Second, to whom are we addressing ourselves as scholars, as legal researchers? Who are our audiences? What lens, what approach or method provides the background for assessment or evaluation of some arguments as being better or worse? So what brings us to better answers? And finally, how does our understanding of what law is impact our assessment of what are better or worse arguments? It is the reflection on these pre-questions that brings us to the axis around which the politics of legal research revolves. They present, to borrow the term from systems theory, what may be emphatically called the structural coupling between the world of value and politics on the one hand and the world of knowledge on the other. We admit that these are certainly not the only questions around which the politics of research revolves. Often it is indeed the disagreements about the substance that reveal the politics of authors, of strands of scholarship. But as this collection makes clear, it is the struggle around these axes that is particularly consequential for scholarship in general and legal research in particular, for it shapes the parameters of what counts as good research and good science. In this volume then, with a number of wonderful authors, we explore these formative questions in 4 different sections when we ask what the choices of questions, the choices of audiences, the choice of the concept of law, as well as the choice of answers or the best way to answer questions imply for our broader preferences and values as to the kind of the world and academia we want. These 4 different axes present us with matrix through which we can explore the politics of legal research in general and European legal research in particular. A question that underlines all contributions is also an interest in why we see this upsurge of methodological battles in legal scholarship at this particular juncture. Clearly, there are some prosaic reasons for that. For instance, the growing importance of financing through national or European funding schemes, or the support for interdisciplinary scholarship by university managers. But there is more going on, we believe. At many important junctures in history, we see a renewed interest in the question of knowledge and the question of method. Today, the world is in the middle of many crises that require credible knowledge to address them. At the same time, numerous political challenges are addressed exactly or outrightly at the institutional knowledge production. It is in this context that the fundamental political clashes translate also into methodological battles around the four axes of politics of European legal research. That is the politics of questions, politics of audiences, the politics of answers, and the politics of the concept of law, which are in profound shift and which, as of now, have unknown destination. Thanks for listening. And if you're interested to read more, please find more info about the book at Elgar's web pages, and including an open access introduction to the book. Thanks for listening.